The final character in Guilty Gear Strive Season 4 is Lucy, a guest character from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. And in this video, I'll be going over what type of character she is, her strengths and weaknesses, and how to play her in various phases of the game. And first off, what type of character is Lucy? Lucy is a fast character that is effective at both closing the gap and controlling mid-range. The combination of her speed and big buttons help her dictate the pace of the match. She can effectively play at all ranges too, thanks to Sprint, a fast traveling attack with follow-ups, and Unity, a full scheme projectile that's simple but can be effective. So next, what are Lucy's strengths and weaknesses? So first off is definitely her speed. She is extremely fast and ground speed is very powerful in this game. I don't know how fast she is yet exactly, but it is very clear that she is an extremely fast character. Characters have to use unusual or counterintuitive tactics to fight fast characters, including preempting with normals that they might not normally use, potentially chasing, and swinging on buttons that may leave them open to being whiff punished. Lucy also has very good range. Usually fast characters in this game have their own blend of strong normals, but the main thing is that at some point they do have to come at you. But Lucy can choose to run you down or play at mid-range because she has the monowire. So she's able to attack from ranges that other fast characters are not able to. She can also debuff characters using hacking. So you can think of the hacks kind of as a status effect if you want. And this adds a twist to her otherwise straightforward toolset because you can add hit stun to moves that use the monowire, or you could use her utility super quick hacks to add a bunch of special effects onto the opponent. Even without using the quick hack super, she does make liberal use of her monowire special move, so you'll be interacting with the short nerve circuit state quite a bit. This state, which you apply by either partly charging or fully charging her monowire special move, which is 214H, adds hit stun to move like her JS, which is a fast overhead, throw, which enables combos that you would not normally be able to do, and you could use it to extend combos. So it's all around an important part of her game plan. And with that, she's just well-rounded. She's fast, but she also has big buttons, on top of having good mix-up opportunities because of the short nerve circuit. On defense, she has not only a good backdash, but also an invincible reversal with a DP. On top of that, she's able to escape the corner quickly if you mash out with kicks with advantage. But that being said, I think she has weaknesses too. So I think one of her main ones is that she somewhat lacks presence full screen. She doesn't really have an attack from here besides Unity, and this is the definition of just a deterrent that kind of does nothing. Even the full 3 bullets don't really do anything on a normal hit. Her HP is on the lower end as well. She has slightly more HP than Milia. And in my opinion, at least so far, I think her jump buttons are kind of meh. She doesn't really have a cross-up button at all, which is not that common in this game. And while jump H does hit deep, it is not that fast, so it's a little bit difficult to use. And she's not really good at air dashing at characters necessarily. So first I want to talk about her neutral game. And before we actually talk about attacks, I want to talk about her dash speed. So she is so fast that dashing and blocking is a very effective tool of this character. It is very common that characters' pokes are disadvantageous on block, so running into buttons is actually quite an effective tool, especially if your character is fast. So if you feel like you're having problems getting in on people, consider trying to use dash block. She, again, is very, very fast, and you can use this to get in and get plus frames from your opponent swinging on you in neutral with pokes that they might not use otherwise. To talk about her moves though, first we have to talk about 5k. This move is just ridiculous. And it's not like she's the only character in the game with a 5k that's similar to this. But personally, the thing that I think that makes it crazy is that they generally give these massive 5ks to characters that are not mobile. So while there's plenty you can be annoyed with Slayer about, one thing is definitely not his movement. His movement is pretty linear and he can't run, and he doesn't have a lot of stuff to vary his air movement at all. He's pretty linear in the air too. So you compensate by having these big non-committal buttons. So the fact that she has a similar one to him with this run speed, I think is just insane. And it's easy to convert to with her Rekka. You can use this to both bully characters because of how fast it is, use it to approach, and you can also use it to whip punish. Keep in mind that this move can be low profiled, but specifically it's such a fast move that I don't think it matters that much. On top of that, since her sweep is massive too, it is extremely unlikely that if your 5k connects, your sweep will not. Another button I want to talk about is her 2k. So it's a standard 2k on paper, but on a fast character. So what's notable about it is that you can really run down people with it. Like her 5k, if your 2k connects, it is basically impossible. I'm not saying truly impossible, but extremely, you shouldn't think your sweep is going to whiff. It's very, very unlikely. 2k is really nice for chasing people who are waiting. Usually when people are walking away, or if a character has a good backdash like Testament, you could try to run them down with either 5k or 2k. The next button I want to talk about is Far Slash. So this is quite a big poke. It is on a solo side for Far Slash at 13 frames. However, it does have the big benefit that you vacuum on hit and on block. This is a great button to both preempt with and to punish especially egregious whiffs. Now this is a button that would actually be worried about the low profile, not because of the low profile in particular, but because 6p is especially effective against it. It has a lot of recovery and not a lot of active frames, so if you press this move, press it with intent. Then we have 2s, so this is also a big poke and it's a low. And the big thing about this move is that the vacuum follow-up to 2s is also a low. This move is faster than Far Slash at 11 frames. And unlike the low active frames of Far Slash, 2 Slash has far more active frames, so you can hit backdashes with it. Also unlike Far Slash, so here I can't actually delay the follow-up, but 2S you can delay the follow-up, which opens up your pressure a little bit and maybe can give you the opportunity to hit confirm to 2S as well. While you don't want to whip this button, it does have less recovery than Far Slash. And I consider 2S to be a much more general use tool than her Far Slash. You're going to be pressing this button a lot in neutral. So the next move I want to talk about is a move I just want to mention. It's her Close Slash. And specifically, this move is not as big, or it doesn't hit as high as you think it would looking at the animation. Johnny's Close Slash hits where you think it would hit, very high above him, where Lucy does not. So instead of pressing Close Slash, I actually recommend pressing 2H. So this move is ridiculously huge, and it is the same speed as her 2S at 11 frames. It's also incredibly active, shown by Testament jumping into the latter active frames of 2H. It does have a lot of recovery, but you're really not trying to whiff this move. This move is good against opponents that try to stall in the air. And it's also good against opponents who are trying to escape from the corner. It's effective against any type of flying or stalling as long as your timing is good. And finally, the last neutral move I want to talk about is Sprint. So this move is incredibly quick at 16 frames. However, the opponent can preempt and hit you. But if you're doing this, you can dash block and try to punish their preempt attempt. The other nice thing about this is you can confirm this into quick hacks. So you could use this for a bunch of different situations. So next I want to talk about Lucy's offense. And at a glance, her offense is pretty straightforward. She has things that many characters have. So you could do, for example, the standard Close Slash, which is a +1 on block attack, and delay a follow-up button so that your opponent can't mash out. Once they start respecting that, you can either dash up and Close Slash again, dash up and throw, or you could try to push yourself out in order to control space, build meter, and establish control. She is vacuum normal, so you can control whether or not you want your opponent to be far away from you or closer. One thing you really want to aim for is the part charge monowire. It applies the short nerve circuit state on block also, and it's a guard crush at +7. You'll be able to run offense right away if you're close enough. As a reminder, attacks that use the monowire activate it, so things like sweep, the sprint, slashes, and heavy slashes will activate the short nerve circuit state. Importantly, throw also activates it. The attack is not that active though, so the opponent can pick backdash to evade the monowire. I did it on Knockdown here just to show it because Zelda has a standard backdash at 5 frames invincible, and he's able to backdash this no problem. Opponents can also attempt to escape by jumping. One way you could deal with this is by using the monowire cancel. So you can cancel the animation by either using the punch button or the dust button. And personally, I recommend doing this with whatever is comfortable on your controller. For me personally, the punch button just makes more sense to me, but for someone else, they might use dust. So you could use this to see your opponent do something and then chase and continue your offense. Using monowire though does require some system knowledge of the game because of the speed of the attack. Essentially, every attack in this game is assigned a level, and that level has different amounts of block stun, hit stun, and hit stop. The lower the attack level, the lower this value is going to be unless the move has a special exception on it. This system is why jabs feel so fast and light, and why heavy attacks feel like they have so much more impact. And if you ever wondered why attacks like Mistfinder can be hard to punish sometimes, it is because it has an exception to this rule. So in Lucy's case, it's a little difficult to play games around monowire off moves like sweep, because her sweep is an attack level 2 move, so it doesn't have as much block stun as something like 2H or 5H, which are attack level 4 moves. Now, if you think someone's trying to jump or do some type of delayed option, you can try doing a normal monowire, not charging it, or you can try delaying your cancel, in addition to the aforementioned monowire cancel. In the case they do block this, it is a +7 guard crush, so you have the ability to apply a strike throw mix-up with no throw protection, which is extremely threatening. Uniquely, her jump H is pretty fast here, so you can actually use this as the strike. However, on block, the short nerf circuit won't activate, so be careful. I haven't really seen many good options for what happens if someone actually blocks this without meter. The move is jump cancelable, so I've seen people retreat, and that's what I've been doing as well. If you want to quote-unquote guarantee the monowire, you can use Blue Wild Assault. I have guard first only applied here, so if I slightly delay a button, Johnny will get hit, but in the case of Blue Wild Assault, this will apply. You can go a different route and use spacing and speed to run offense. Use fast attacks like jabs and kicks to push yourself out to an advantageous position, and then use moves like 2S and far slash to keep your opponent in place and just react to what they do. At this range, monowire cancel is less risky because you're so far as well, so you could use it and then see what the opponent does and then run up on them. This is a good way to both control your opponent and build a lot of resources. And then there's quick hack. So this has not actually been super explored as an offensive tool yet, but I do think it's a good time to explain the move. So Lucy has 24 MB of RAM, and she can apply 4 hacks to the opponent. Contagion applies poison to the opponent while they're in hit stun specifically, where Energy Siphon is a lifesteal. Algorithm Malfunction forces a heavy counter hit, and Resistance Glitch makes it so you build more risk quickly. Pacify makes it so that the opponent builds way less meter than normal. And finally, Optics Inhibition covers Lucy in camo. The effects become active sequentially after a short delay. You can say the name, but in my shorthand, I've been just using numbers to describe them as they appear in a list in game. So like I have Contagion as 1, Energy Siphon as 2, Algorithm Malfunction as 3, and so forth. So for example, if I was going to stack 4 Contagions, I would write 1, 1, 1, 1. Algorithm Malfunction plus 3 Contagions would be 3, 1, 1, 1, so on and so forth. At the moment, it's mostly a combo tool, but I do think it's going to be something for offense in the future. So I thought I should put it in this section, even though I'm not really saying offensive things. But we'll go back to quick hacks during the combo section later in the video. Now, Lucy's defense is pretty straightforward. So she has an above average backdash at 19 frames, both 5 frames invincibility. So this is a great escape tool. She also does travel a decent amount of distance too. And remember, she does have big buttons like far slash and 2S. So when you retreat, you can consider counterattacking right away with either one, depending on the range that you're at. Her mash reward is pretty decent. Off 2P, you can combo into sprint. And even when you mash a couple, even though sprint doesn't connect, you do leave yourself in an advantageous position. If you mash with a K normal though, you can actually get right out of the corner by canceling the sprint into the H follow-up, which is an overhead normally, and you will switch sides immediately, which is very nice. Finally, she does have an invincible reversal with her DP, which is on the H button. Now, she has strong defensive options, but the trade-off is that she has one of the lowest life totals in the game. She has less HP than characters like Zato, Jacko, and Axel, And many people who play this game competitively would all call those characters undeniably low HP characters, and she has less health than them. So despite having these strong defensive tools, you do have the weakness of if you get hit, you're going to feel it. Next, I want to talk about Lucy's knockdowns. So ideally, in a perfect world, you end your combo with a partly charged monowire, because if you do, you have the short nerve circuit, so you can combo off throw, you have the ability to combo off overhead, and because of this, low options are going to be threatening too, because her sweep has the monowire as well as 2S. Just keep in mind that the short nerve circuit is like the quick hacks, where there is actually a time limit on it. So if you don't get a hit quickly, there is a point where you just won't be able to apply it. Your opponent will be aware of this as well, because there's an icon right above your tension, and also Lucy has these screens in front of her face while she has hacks active. Now, if for some reason you didn't end your combo with monowire, you could still just run up and do close slash, or you could try to apply the monowire right away, but it really depends on the type of knockdown that you get. I don't recommend doing it that much, but every now and then it's fine. For throw, you can backdash and hit a safe jump pretty easily, and this will keep you safe from even the fastest of reversals. So to wrap up, I want to go over some simple combos. I'm pretty sure she's going to develop quite a bit as people put time into her, but this I think is a pretty good place to start. So as I mentioned before, your lights, you're not going to be able to convert into the charged version of monowire. So for punch, you want to go into sprint if possible, and for kicks, these are fine too. Again, if your back's to the wall, you can side swap by canceling the sprint into the H follow-up. Now, if you swing with far slash, you're not able to use 2H after it, so you have to use 5H. So here, you're going to use sprint as well. Off close slash, you can either go into 6H or 2H. Both of these can combo into partial charge monowire, and both of these allow for extensions off the short nerve circuit state. If for some reason you have the ability to combo into 2H, you can actually combo into charged blue wild assault pretty easily. For a short nerve circuit, it depends on how you hit it, but you can essentially loop it into itself. So for example, if you hit the overhead, you can go right into a combo into 2H into partly charged monowire again and continue the mix up. For throw in particular, I don't actually recommend a really long combo, because since throw is not that good of a combo starter, your opponent will gain a lot of resource if you do a very long combo. So if possible, try to keep this combo short and just reapply the short nerve circuit as soon as you can. In the corner, I would recommend just breaking the wall. And finally, there's quick hacks. So what I've seen and thought about so far, the main merit of quick hacks is that you can use it to finish off opponents, and it's a really good combo extender mid-screen. But I'm sure there's more applications than that. The main thing about quick hacks in the corner is that they're applied sequentially, and the wall has HP, so depending on which ones you use and how much wall help there is, you might not actually get the full merit of the super, where in mid-screen you don't have to worry about that so much. So if you're going to use quick hacks in the corner, it's probably from some type of offense, especially because you have far more frame advantage off monowire into quick hack. Now, if you have 50 meter and 50 burst, you can actually do quite a bit of damage off kicks into quick hack. That being said, you don't need Blue Wild Assault to do a quick hack combo. I think there's a lot of potential behind this super. I've seen a lot of people post a lot of different things, but they're all like theory stuff. I don't know how people are actually going to apply this super in matches yet, but I know over time there'll be a lot of cool stuff you'll be able to do with this. So this is just a nice place to start. And yeah, I think that's the basics so that you could just play her. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you're interested in Guilty Gear coaching, I do that on Metafy at metafy.gg/@LordKnight. I also have a Patreon that you can use to support the channel at patreon.com/LordKnight. I stream on weekdays, Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/LordKnight, and that's where we hang out, practice, and also record stuff for my second channel, LordKnight Chronicles. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.